Hello and Sports Opinion, the weekly sports talk show on Channel 18, Public Access TV. My name's Dirk Keller, Bob Boyd right here,
Yes, sir.
Bud Supple over there, and Earl Murphy, as always, right here in the pilot's seat.
Earl the Pearl.
Well, guys, it's been a week since we were here, and a few things have transpired since then. The Hawkeye athletes are on a break this week, taking finals. So we get a chance. Everybody gets a chance to catch their breath. Unfortunately, a lot of people catching their breath are spouting rumors and innuendo about Kirk Ferentz once again heading to the NFL. As you guys, as probably everybody knows, that the Kansas City Chiefs fired their coach, who'd been there 3 years, Todd Haley, and the Kansas City Chiefs general manager Scott Pioli is a close personal friend of Kirk Ferentz. They both worked together when Kirk was with the Cleveland Browns prior to coming to Iowa. And the rumor mills are just flying with this story. Now, none of us here, I think I can speak for each of us, none of us really think Kirk's going to jump and head to Kansas City. But a lot of national sports writers, besides the local guys that have drummed it up, a lot of national sports writers are also implying that Kirk is the number one target for Scott Pioli. What do you guys think about
We
all
go
this?
through this every year.
Almost.
Every year we go through this thing.
I don't remember anything last year at this
No,
time.
we haven't gone through for a few years with the NFL thing. I mean,
But after the Orange Bowl victory 2 years ago over
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, we went through it.
And see, before this, they had him in line for the Penn State job.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Well, somebody like Kirk would be good for Penn State.
But I think they love Iowa City so much, I don't think they want to stay here and retire.
Penn State, they're after a coach.
Yeah.
And they're must be having a hard time getting a
Oh, I
coach.
think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
and they'll continue to have a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
James
I
is
think
going to
you're
be
right, Murph. I think you're 100%
Yeah.
right. They're having a hard time.
Yes.
And nobody wants to get into that, man.
Why would you? Why would you want to go there and not only try to succeed a
That's a
legend?
coach important nationally than Kirk Ferentz is. Penn State situation.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Kirk's going any place.
I don't
I was talking to him the other night, and I said, well, just a short conversation about 2 minutes, and he was talking about his son. I think Steve's his name.
Steve, the youngest, who's a senior
Yeah,
at City
City
High.
High.
And I said he's a late bloomer. He said that's right. He's going to be good, and I think he said he's going to be good. I don't remember conversations too well, but he didn't hint anything about leaving, or anything to me. I don't think he would tell me if he was.
I think maybe you would.
He might.
I think
But,
he would. You.
Yeah.
Nobody, I think he would probably tell you.
But
Well-
he's not. I don't think he's going any place. Maybe 5 years down the line, but he's not going until this boy graduates.
Well,
from
5 years
from
down the
Iowa.
line,
Right.
Yeah.
he would be roughly 62 years
Mm-hmm.
old, which is pretty much too old to go to the NFL as a head
Mm-hmm.
coach, not having been a head coach there before.
And he doesn't have to work
No.
No,
That's
the rest
that's
of his
right.
life. If he's
And
invested-
there's so much of difference from college to pro. At least in college, you can handle the ball players. You get in that pro, it's hard to handle those pros.
Well, you don't handle them.
No, that's what I mean. So, I mean,
don't.
I think Kurt knows this, being in the pros.
Yeah, they have in the pros. There's a definite separation of the players. As a matter of fact, I was in the Minneapolis Vikings, and the coaches they had right down the middle. They had a chicken wire fence.
Really?
Yeah, and the guys are showering over here, and all the coaching staff was over here, and I don't think they even they speak to them in the morning. You know, they're friends, but that's as far as it goes.
Well, it's all business in the
All
NFL.
business. All.
And it's what have you done for me today?
Well,
that's
you know,
right.
these talking heads and the sports writers around here, and you know, it gives them something to get up for and write in the paper. And
Yep.
but you know, James is going to be a fifth-year senior, third-year starter. Their son Steven's graduating from City Eye, going to be on the Iowa team, most likely.
Sure.
And they're very involved. Mary's very involved. The University Hospital and the Children's Hospital
Right.
that's going to start in 2012. You know, they've got an investment community. It's not just the football team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a family, they're invested in this community, and I think they like it here. And I think this is all just BS.
Right.
You know, I don't think they're going anywhere.
And I think they got
And,
the story because the Stanzi and a good friend that he has that runs the Chiefs.
Tony Moiaki as well.
And both of them.
Scott Pioli. I mean, this would be an opportune place and time.
Well,
But-
let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Kirk is fixed.
Right in there somewhere.
He's
yeah.
got a contract that pays him up just short of $4 million a year that runs through 2020.
Right.
And at that point, he'll be 65.
He'd be able to get Social Security.
He'll really be the dean of the.
Well, we all know these contracts aren't worth the paper they're written on. You know, these guys break contracts every year.
But
Kirk,
he's
but
got
other people.
But he's got
got
the
security.
contract, right?
yes,
He's
he
got
does.
Security.
He's got security.
He's not going to get fired
No.
without getting paid. I mean,
No.
if things go really south here,
See.
anything's possible.
Well,
But,
that's right. So,
Well, I'm thinking about it. Dave Beckman's son got the Illinois job.
yeah, you remember him?
Oh, he was about 10. I knew he was about 10 years old.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Dave was Bob Cummings' assistant coach.
So the new Illinois coach had a father who was a coach here under Bob Cummings and is coming full circle, Big Ten wise.
And he was the coach at Toledo. And
Right.
they had a good
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, he's well thought of in the MAC, and he turned around a really bad Toledo team in nothing flat, and has supplied some NFL players through that system in the MAC conference.
Yeah.
But you know, back to Kirk for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you told me. I knew him pretty well.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
He had kids down there with
At Regina?
at the Catholic grade school then.
Oh,
Iowa
at St.
City
Pat's.
Catholic
Yeah.
Grade School, yeah. On
And what
Court
was
Street.
the athletic director that
Yeah.
went to Cedar Falls that was here?
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Jersey Jeremiah?
Yeah, Jersey,
There you
yeah,
go.
right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What a piece of work that
Well,
I should have brought him on.
Jersey Jeremiah.
well, let's put the Kirk thing to rest. Let's let the newspapers
Yeah.
and all those people find out they're wrong and move on.
Well, what does that do when?
It might happen.
Yeah.
But, you know,
What's it do to recruiting, though, Murph? I mean, does
I don't think
really
it does
make-
anything to recruiting. We've
Oh, I
gone
think
through
it
this.
gives. I think it gives guys like Mark D'Antonio from Michigan State all kinds of things to say.
He can say it. They're going to say something anyway.
And D'Antonio is the leader of the pack when it
Yeah.
comes to bad mouthing and putting poison
I'm not
in
worried
the well.
about that. Matter of fact, if there was any danger, I'm sure Kurt called everyone and said, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, he's out recruiting this week. All the coaches are
Yeah.
heavy. This is a big week for recruiting because
But
they
see what I
have
mean?
finals.
These other players know.
Well, here's the advantage to that. These guys don't sign a letter of intent till the first week of February, and I guarantee you, whoever's going to be hired by the Kansas City Chiefs will be hired long before that signing day.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I don't think there's anywhere.
So, I mean, you know, they can, and these coaches, they go out and lie to you all the time, and then next week they're gone.
Yeah.
But that's not this coach.
No. And like you said, signing day is February. February,
Yeah.
what is it, 1st? No.
16th,
It's like-
17th. It's
it's-
after Valentine's Day, I know.
Okay.
It's in, you know, it's in,
It's
Somewhere
always a
in there.
Wednesday.
I'm thinking it's earlier than Valentine. It's like the,
Well, they leave right away for their trip.
The 15th is a Wednesday, so it could be that day, or it could be the 8th. Of
yeah, I think
February.
maybe it's the 8th maybe. But anyway, it's a long, and the coach for Kansas City will be hired long before that, whoever it is.
Yep.
And
Well, and the other thing too is Kansas City's not going to pay him more than he makes here. if they did,
You never know.
well,
No, I don't think they
I don't
would
think
either.
they would.
Yeah.
You know, Kansas City has a good, solid base. That's a team that they've won 5 games this year with all the injuries they've had.
They're a
at
pretty
key
young
positions.
team, aren't they?
Yes.
Pretty young.
They've lost their star running back, star guard, star player,
Quarterback, Matt
and
Castle.
Why aren't
Moiaki.
they using
Stanzi?
Stanzi?
Well, the word is they're going to use him against the Packers this weekend. They got
Oh, lucky him.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, but you know what? The Packers have not so good defense.
That's true. Yeah.
They give up a lot of points.
They played pretty well against Oakland, though.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
Better against Oakland.
But I'd hate
pounded
to
it.
go into that Green Bay and play football.
Are they
Yeah.
playing there at
I
Green
don't
Bay?
know where the game
No, I
is.
think it's at Kansas City.
At Kansas City. Okay.
I think now.
I wouldn't-
I get.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is down
Yeah,
But speaking of
Okay.
losing coaches, we lost a good one in
we did.
Parker.
Norm
Norm
Parker.
Parker's-
It's the end of an era.
Yeah.
It really is. The
And
Hawkeye defensive coordinator, Norm Parker, who's been here 13 years, came with Kirk Ferentz to Iowa City, has announced at age 70 that he's retiring. And honestly, guys, personally, I think it's a good thing. His health has really deteriorated with the diabetes.
Amputation.
Yeah, and there have been rumors that he may lose some more body parts here. You know, that there are more issues with the diabetes, and I saw him at the Hawkeye wrestling meet last Friday,
Yeah.
and it's hard for him to get around. God bless him. Yeah, it's hard, and I
But he
mean,
couldn't
you know
go
how
out-
hard it is to get around for you.
Sure.
And
He couldn't go out a better getting that national honor.
no,
That's terrific. That's
no.
right.
You know, when I saw
And
that,
well deserved.
I
you know.
thought
I did
Norm's
too.
retiring.
I did too.
I thought that's a nice way to go out, and it really is. And now he's got an opportunity to rise up to the occasion, so to
Yeah.
speak, which he does every year at the bowl game.
They got something to play for, the team does.
They really
sure
do. They really do.
Especially on the defense.
Yes.
Very true.
They
That
really
should be.
do.
They should be pretty well inspired for sure.
And you know, there are a lot of rumors going around about Oklahoma right now. There's a lot of
Really?
unhappiness down there. Unhappiness with the team, unhappiness on the team, transfers, issues.
Wow.
It's not a happy camp.
So they're really going to be upset when we beat them in the bowl.
I think
game.
this goes
Might
around.
ruin their day.
It's just that we're playing them, so we're getting the news on them now. Now
Yeah.
I heard that there's 4 starters out
Well, there are.
with injury.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
We knew that though before.
But are
the
they
bowl
going to
game.
be back?
Well, they
No,
might be
no, no.
They won't be
Nope,
back.
nope,
Oh,
nope.
is that right?
Oh,
Serious
I didn't know
injury.
that.
Running
That's-
back. What is it? 1 or 2 of the top running backs.
Okay,
They are
I didn't
not
know
going to
that.
be there.
That's good.
Leading receiver.
Leading receiver is not going to
top
be there.
linebacker.
And that's the other one, linebacker. They still got their quarterback, who's tough as nails, and they
But-
still got Bob Stoops, who's tough as nails.
They have a lot of good players, though.
Oh, yeah.
you know,
But I know that there's a lot of grumbling and a little bit of dissension down there from all corners.
Well, I think any team that was ranked number 1 for 6 weeks in a row would have that after what happened.
Very true.
And not only losing 3 games, but
Losing guys.
losing badly
Right.
and looking bad.
Yeah, that last game was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh
That
yeah. I mean, at least the Texas Tech game was close. And who else beat them?
Well, Okie State,
Okie State. The last
was it
game.
Missouri?
It might have been, but I think the other 2 games are fairly close. But boy, that Okie State really
No,
took.
wasn't it Kansas State?
I don't remember.
I can't
I guess
remember
it
either.
was.
Because Kansas State was a little upset.
Might have been.
But you know, they're sitting there at 9-3, and we'd be happy at 9-3. But a program like Oklahoma and Nebraska and those places, if
There
they
you
don't,
go.
they don't win double digits, they're mad.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you'd think they'd have a lot to play for, but it sounds like there's a lot of angst coming out of Norman, Oklahoma, and we'll see what kind of
But they'll get up for the game. It'll be a good game.
it will be. And Norm
Oh, I'm
Parker,
sure, yeah.
I bet he's just really anxious to put his boys up against that Oklahoma offense and force them to do what his bidding.
Well, you
shall
give
be.
Norm and his boys 5 weeks to get ready. That helps.
Well, he's got what, 2 more weeks?
Yeah.
This next week and the week after. The game is Friday, December 30th at 9 p.m. on ESPN, and that's going to be a big one. It's the I believe it's the only game that night.
Yeah,
So-
ESPN's got 5 ball games that day, starting with Iowa State.
Yeah. Yeah.
And run all the way through
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
So,
Yeah.
guys, Norm Parker's leaving. What's that mean? What does that mean?
I think the other Parker will get it.
Phil Parker.
Phil Parker.
Currently, his position is
Defensive.
he defensive back?
Backs, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
See now, I know for a fact that he had in the last 2 or 3 years, had a chance to go to some small colleges
Phil.
and
Well.
turn them down. Yeah.
Well, I would think so.
Well, that'll be interesting. I guess that's the big question mark that they may already know the answer to that
Yeah.
as far as the staff is concerned. But again, I'm sure there'll be some speculation there.
I think the guy that left here and went to Arizona,
Ron Aiken.
Ron Aiken,
Yeah.
I think he's got a chance for it.
Well, that's a name I've heard too,
That
Earl.
could be, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I don't think he's happy out there.
Well, the Arizona pro team, NFL team, they pulled 2 upsets in the last 2 weeks, and their defense has been a big part of that.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
he had a lot of success for them when he went there. Ron Aiken did.
Yes,
Turned that around defensively. And quite frankly, I remember when he left here, there was a drop off at defense when he left. If I'm not mistaken, he was a defensive lines coach.
that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
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 And there was a drop off in talent. He was a guy, let's face it, he was a black guy who was a father figure to a lot of the black players.
Did a good job,
And we lost that
yeah.
with him.
And a friend of the current line coach, what's his name?
Oh, from West High.
Morgan.
Yes.
Reese Morgan.
no,
Not Reese Morgan?
No?
No, that he's on the offense.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Defensive man. I know him real well. Gosh,
Not Johnson.
no, he coaches the tight ends.
I don't know. But if anyone out there knows the answer, give Bud Sipple at midnight tonight on his home phone.
I might be.
Yeah.
If I find out, I'll call you.
But they're good friends.
That's good.
And he said he talks to him about 3 or 4 times a week, and that's quite a bit. That's a real friendship.
That's a friend.
That's a friend, yeah, that's
No
right.
kidding.
Yeah.
They got a lot to talk about if they
Yeah.
talk 3-4 times a week.
Well, you know what it is, regardless of who it is, it's a great opportunity for somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that Ron Aiken's the nicest guy I have ever met.
Is that right?
Oh, he's a prince of a fellow. He just
Did he come here with Kirk 13 years ago?
no,
No.
Where'd he come from?
I don't know.
Did he come in after Kirk
Yeah.
was here a while?
I think so.
I don't know. I was thinking he was.
Speaking of that, I see where Mike Stoops is interviewing at Ohio State today.
Today.
Yeah.
Been
Is that
rumors.
right?
Yeah, been rumors about him to Ohio State and Nebraska and Kansas State,
Iowa.
Illinois, and Iowa. Yeah.
He won't end up here.
No, he's
No.
not coming here.
Oh, I knew that.
But he's an Ohio boy.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Urban Meyer has stated in the last few days he likes his coaches to be fiery and burning at both
He's got one
ends.
there.
That fits the
Yeah.
bill right there.
I would say so.
He wants screamers, guys who I think his quote was, "Coach like their butts on fire," and
He's one.
that'd be Mike Stoops.
That would be.
So don't be surprised to see him end up at Ohio State with Urban Meyer.
Well, then being from there.
And
Yeah.
Has Bobby lost any coaches this year?
I think he did.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think he
Earl, that's a
was.
good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did he just now lose
Somebody.
his
Yes.
offensive coordinator?
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
He just offensive coordinator
That's right.
who's going to Central Arkansas.
Central Arkansas.
Does that sound
That's
right?
right. As
Wow.
head coach.
As head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Or
think-
Arkansas State. One
No,
of those.
it's
No,
Central Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, I think
Well,
it wasn't Arkansas. I know that.
That's.
but it's not a major Division I program. Okay.
No.
I'm glad he's got some turmoil down there. So
It sounds like one of the
Huh.
issues at Oklahoma is the strength and conditioning coach. And I don't know all the details, but it sounds like he has a lot of the players, and there are going to be some pretty significant defections because of him. And
Do
the
we
head
want to send
coaches-
him letters?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
maybe Bobby will go to Kansas City then.
yeah. Well, and that's now here's one of the rumors is that Bob Stoops is not happy at Oklahoma with the pressure and the unfair criticism that you get when you have a 9-win season and people want.
And I can see
Well,
Bobby
they had a lot of
bo-
injuries.
bothering Bobby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the next step for Bob Stoops would be the pros. He's pretty much climbed the highest mountain in college football.
Yeah.
When you go to Oklahoma and win a national
I've
championship.
never seen, there's something that's wrong with me. I've never seen that as a promotion in a coach's career. If he goes pro.
I agree with you 100%.
I,
They do great, and then they get to the pros in the years,
Yeah.
3 years.
That's
yeah.
right.
No, I agree
It's a
with
different
you. Murray.
ball game.
Look
Yeah.
at the former Michigan State coach. He gave it a shot, and he lasted what, 2 years?
2 years.
And went back to college.
and besides
Look at
having
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, there's the best example, Pete Carroll.
He hasn't done a bang-up job in Seattle.
But he's in Seattle,
Yeah.
and nobody cares.
But they
because
did-
nobody
yeah.
knows.
They
Nobody
did win-
goes.
They did win their 5th straight game.
Yeah, they beat the Rams.
Yeah.
But they're still 5 and 8,
five.
so.
That isn't going to get you to the playoffs.
No.
And he's making insane money.
Yeah, if Kirk does go, let him go. But
Yeah.
Oh, he's
he won't do as well there, I don't think.
It's altogether different.
If Kirk
you
Ferentz-
can tell that college kid what to do and get over here and do this,
Well-
but you can't tell that pro guy to.
How do you deal with those egos?
I don't know.
I don't
in
know.
The NFL.
I'd hate to even be.
You deal with
messed
it
up.
like any business. You
It's
know?
all business.
Yeah. You are the employer, and
That's
you,
right.
if they don't follow or meet expectations, then they're gone. Simple as that.
You're talking to a guy who just sold his business,
Yeah.
So you get to a point where, whew,
Yeah, you've had enough.
43 years enough.
Well,
But-
if Kirk left now, I don't think there's a Hawkeye fan anywhere who would wish him ill
Oh, no.
or
No.
feel
No,
like
no, we're not saying-
he turned his mess.
No, we're not saying that. We're just
He
saying-
felt it was a better
It's a hard
opportunity
deal.
for
And-
him and his family.
I'd be happy for
You
him.
know what
It's fine.
Kurt's got?
What?
He's got a contract at 20.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
And big money, he's not going to get that kind of money. They're not going to go anywhere.
He'd get a 5-year contract in the NFL. That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
What's the head coach make in the pros?
It depends. It varies. We were talking about
don't
Carroll at
see.
Seattle, and he's making something crazy, $1 million a year. Kirk wouldn't get that at Kansas City, but he might get,
Might get
5 or
five.
6.
6 maybe, yeah.
I don't know if he would at Kansas City or not.
Well,
They've gone through a lot of coaches,
They have.
and they're not going to
Yeah.
start giving out. Now, I think if he did real good the
those
first
are-
year, then they'd come back.
but they'd still. You have to start out with a 5-year
Who's the general
contract.
manager down there?
Scott Pioli.
Yeah, Pioli.
And he was not only Kirk at Cleveland, but then he went to the New England Patriots,
Oh, really?
I thought. Didn't he go there
I-
for a while? And from
I-
there went to Kansas City?
That might
That's
be.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think
Might
so. I
be.
think you're right. I think you're right.
I think if Kirk were to ever leave for the NFL, now's the time to do it.
Agreed.
Because this Chiefs job, this Chiefs team, is better than their record
Yeah.
states.
Injuries.
He's got a good friend at GM who will take care of him and not look to pull the rug out from under him.
He's in the Midwest.
He's not far from home.
I don't even think he's thinking of that.
No.
I agree.
He's so well
Really?
ingrained.
I agree.
He's an Easterner. He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's call him up and ask him. What do you think?
Right.
You got your cell phone?
But-
Bud, you got your cell phone?
No, I don't.
Let's give.
I got,
Yeah.
I got a daughter.
He'd call her. He gets about to say on his face.
Well, aren't we all in agreement he's not going anywhere?
Right.
Yeah.
I got a daughter that has season tickets down in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And she says that they didn't sell a game out.
Wow.
I mean, they're really having a hard time because
And that's a big time NFL town.
that's
They
right.
used to sell them
That's
all
right.
out until,
Yeah.
She
well,
says,
probably the last
now,
5 years.
you know, they
That's
might have
that's
sold
quite a
them out, but you
complex.
can pick up a ticket or you
Yeah.
can go there and get a ticket and good.
But ticket sales mean everything in the NFL.
Yes.
Right,
Everything.
Right.
You got to sell out for a number of
Right.
reasons.
right,
Concessionaires.
Yeah.
right.
But
Well, and they have that
Parking.
NFL blackout.
TV,
deal.
exactly, the TV blackout. That's a
Yeah,
big
so,
deal.
yeah.
They have to
So
jump
I mean,
through
they're in
hoops
deep
not
trouble.
to get that.
And before you take that job, you have to think about these things.
Yeah.
Can I get all these people back in and so forth? He's sitting here with $3 million a year, about four,
Almost
for
four.
till 20.
And a sellout.
Yeah, that's
And
right. And
sellouts,
sellout.
yeah.
That's right.
Every game.
There's something different about Iowa City than any place in the
I
nation.
just get a tremendous kick out of what they're waiting to run onto the field.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Oh,
I wish they'd let us. They don't do it anymore.
well,
Oh, yeah. He's
so
gonna
that's
change his
pretty
mind,
fast.
yeah.
That's pretty fast.
Well,
it's
here's the
faster
other-
than that Walker will go. I know that.
Here's the other thing we all forget. We have a tendency.
And besides that, he is a wonderful, wonderful man.
Kirk?
Yes.
Yes.
He's just a prince of a fellow.
One thing we all have a tendency to forget is this. The University of Iowa Hawkeyes are the biggest show in the state of Iowa,
That's right.
That's it.
okay?
Period.
You go down to Kansas City, you know, yeah, it's the only NFL team, but you've got, you know,
Everything going on.
you got everything going on. You've got K-State, you've got the University of Kansas, you know, and various other things, and the Kansas O's, and they have a hockey team too, don't they? And
No.
so, anyway, you know, we're the only show in town.
But if I was to ask you, maybe Dirk, or probably Bob, can you name me all the coaches in the NFL?
No.
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 But you can come pretty close to naming all the coaches in the Big Ten.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right.
Boy,
See,
yeah.
so there's a big difference.
Even the new
in
ones.
college and NFL. I mean,
And he's the senior coach in the Big Ten now,
yes.
That's right.
with Joe Pa moving on.
And by a long shot.
Yes.
There aren't.
You know who the second one is?
Is it Numbnuts from Northwestern?
Yes,
No.
I think it is.
It might be Wisconsin's coach.
Bielema?
Oh, no. I think the guy from Northwestern was there first.
Yeah, I think
Well, they're both at about 6 years, guys.
that might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're right there together, I think. But that, I mean,
Okay.
if you think about that,
I guess.
13 down to 6, you know,
Sure isn't Ohio State, Penn
and everybody
State.
else has been
I
hired
thought it was
since.
Michigan State. I don't know.
D'Antonio?
He just
Yeah,
completed
he's
his
pretty
fourth
close in there,
year,
too.
I
forgot
think.
about him.
Maybe fifth year.
Okay.
Fourth or fifth year.
Well,
Okay.
what would Kirk be? 13?
Yeah.
Yes, just
This
completed.
is his 13th
Yeah.
year. He
Okay.
started in '99, his first season.
Yeah.
So
And he's
this
got,
is his
I was-
13th
got
season.
8
I was-
more years.
I was in Honolulu when I hired him, and I woke up and got the paper, and it turns out it's the sport page, and a little quip in there said, "Ferentz gets Iowa job." And I said, "My God!" I think to myself, "You mean it's Stoops that didn't get that job?"
Yeah, we all thought he would.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that was the consensus for sure.
Bob Bowlesby surprised us.
all it was the got him the job at Iowa was his interview. He interviewed just superb.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
He did perfect job.
And that was the same year they hired Steve Alford. I mean, you look back 13 years ago, and we were pretty pumped up. We knew what we had in Ferentz. A lot of us remembered him. And we
Was
knew
it that close? Was
Yeah.
Steve hired 13 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, his first
time goes-
basketball season was.
I think Ferentz
Was it 2000 or-
was January maybe, or was he December?
Well,
January.
and I believe he would have been.
It was January.
Yeah, because I went to the party over at the.
Yep, and then Alford would have been March.
March.
Are we going
Get our picks in.
Well, yeah, we will.
we got time?
We have time. Let's talk a little bit more about Norm Parker and
Oh,
you
yes.
know what we lose in Norm is going to be significant. What we gain is a defensive coordinator who can go out on the road and
Yeah.
we gain a defensive coordinator who can be on the sidelines and coach. Those are all pretty big pluses, no matter who it is.
Well, my question about this position is, because people tell us we're so predictable, you hear that, the commentators on TV, whatever they know, and do we need a different look? Do we need some new? Do we need some new
Good
ideas?
question.
I don't know. I'm
To
just
my
throwing it out there.
opinion, yes, I think.
Okay.
And my one thing about it is not going after the quarterback.
Not enough blitzing.
Not enough blitzing.
My issue
As
with our
I
defense.
watched,
That's
as
better
I
credit,
watched
yeah.
football games this year, all these teams were blitzing that were good because they got the quarterback, and we didn't do the blitz.
We did more of it this year.
We
than
did
we
it.
have.
did
We
more
did
than
it
we
at
have.
Gettysburg,
And I think
when
we're
we
all
were
glad
down
to see
so
that.
far, yeah.
We did more than Pittsburgh. We blitzed a lot later in the season, especially.
Look what we did at Michigan with Michigan on 4th and goal.
Blitzed him a lot.
4 times in a row. Did we blitz him 3 times in a row or 4 times? On that goal line stand. But we blitzed.
Yeah, okay.
At least 3.
Yeah.
4.
Well, he had,
It was 4.
He had a really something going for him. Parker did. He had a quarterback that couldn't run because Michigan didn't have any timeouts.
Yeah.
He had to pass the ball, and he passed the ball 4 times, and they were all incomplete. So
That's right. That's right.
So
It's kind of like,
My issue isn't so much with the blitzing as it is with the soft underbelly, the 5-yard pass. And we gave that up way too often. We gave up third down
you'll
conversions
find that a
too
lot of
often.
teams
Yeah.
gave it up.
A lot of them do that. They'll give up the 3 or 4 yards.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
well,
I
we
agree
played a
with
lot
Mark.
played it pretty soft, and it cost us a couple games the last couple of years.
Yep.
In my
But
opinion.
last couple of years.
And, Norm just wasn't at full speed the last couple of years.
Well, of course.
No.
Well, but he come through when we need.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
example,
that's
the
right.
thing I want to
Insight
remember,
Bowl
just
last
a
year.
year ago, remember the Missouri game?
Yeah.
So
His
he had
defense
his
was
stuff.
the difference in the game.
That's right. So I mean,
We intercepted one for a touchdown,
That's
and
right.
it was happy time in Iowa City.
And the year
Georgia Tech.
at the Orange
Georgia
Bowl.
Tech.
oh yeah.
We dominated. I mean, that
Oh,
score wasn't
that
even,
was the best.
24 to
That's
14,
Right, that's
and-
right.
He had
wasn't nearly that close.
He had 6 weeks to prepare for that triple option
Oh,
threat.
and that's all you read down there in Florida about this quarterback's just going to run us over because the
And
way
their
this-
running
this-
attack,
'cause
yeah,
that
oh,
guy
yeah.
couldn't pass all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Norm was just rubbing his hands together when he got the opportunity to play Georgia Tech. Shut down that option.
Oh,
running,
that
Well, the other result of Norm leaving, should they hire from within and bring Phil Parker up as defensive coordinator, LeVar Woods would be put in as a full-time coach. Rumor has it. He's earned it. I forget what his position is now with the football team, but this is a young gentleman, who had a pretty significant NFL career. And has come back and done what is wonderful things with these kids.
Oh, yes. They were really happy with him.
Yeah, he relates well to the kids. Good-looking young guy with a family, and
Well, an Iowa guy, that's important. I mean,
Yeah.
played out for the Hawkeyes, and I don't know. I just want them to keep an open mind. Somehow, I got to believe they have their mind made up,
Yeah, well,
but I don't know that.
I'd be
but
satisfied to keep everything intact.
oh yeah, same here.
And like you say, bring up. I've heard nothing but great things on Atkins too, and I liked him. Well, so that wouldn't bother me if he come along.
Yeah.
How long's he been gone? 2 years now? Or?
No, it's
Oh,
longer.
no, a lot longer.
Is
yeah.
it really?
I'm going to say 6.
Oh, yeah, probably
Yeah, I think 6 maybe.
You're kidding me.
6 or 7.
Maybe 7.
But
Yeah, 'cause
it's been a while.
He was there in Arizona when they brought in Kurt Warner, before they brought Kurt Warner in.
Well, yeah. think
Was
about
he
that.
really?
Yeah. And they did some big time things. They just couldn't, they almost,
But he's almost within because he was with the staff.
yeah. So,
Well, it'll be interesting.
well, and the men's basketball team lost Ryan Bowen last week. That was kind of unexpected.
Yeah, but I don't think that was.
See what happened. I didn't know.
He left immediately and took a job with the Denver Nuggets NBA team. And
He played for them, didn't he?
That's right.
at one time,
For a while. I mean,
Yeah.
He played for several.
But I think he lived out there and everything.
What do you mean?
Denver.
No, I thought he lived down in.
He was here.
No, I know
Before that, didn't he live down in Burlington? When he
No,
took
but I
his
mean
job?
when
Yeah.
they moved to Denver,
Oh.
when he was playing
Oh,
at Denver.
okay. But he's gone, so.
Yeah.
He's gone, so they're looking for, I think it's,
Now, what did he do?
well, his title was game film coordinator, video coordinator, but he did a lot more than that. He was number one, he was an NBA veteran who these guys could relate to, former Hawk, who these guys could relate to. What I'm told is he did a really good job with the young kids in helping them with their expectations.
Yeah.
I think no matter how you look at it, it's a loss. He was limited in what he could do coaching
right.
wise, but he was still there, a strong presence at practice and on the bench. And they haven't announced a replacement for him.
He was limited in what he could do because of NCAA rules.
Correct.
Right? Because
That's
you
what I
can only
meant.
have so many
Yes.
Right.
assistant coaches.
And the video coordinator can only do so many
Yeah.
things. with
But
the
he was
team.
working his way, but he wanted to be a coach, and he's
Yeah.
working his way into that,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
Okay.
And speaking of the men's basketball team, they are going to host Drake on Saturday night at 8 p.m., which can only mean one thing. The Big Ten Network will be
No,
telecasting the game.
22.
No, not for Drake.
Well, there's a game coming up. They just advertised today.
Tuesday night is Central Arkansas.
Okay, that's on 12.
And that game is at 7 o'clock on the Mediacom Cable Connections Channel 22. But Saturday night is the Drake game, and the last time probably that Drake's going to be coming to Iowa City. So,
Why?
well, they're doing away with the UNI and Drake commitments, both Iowa State and Iowa.
So those contracts are up this year?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh, do you think they're doing away with it?
Yeah. They may come to Iowa City, but what it sounds like is they're going to work out some kind of annual round robin in Des Moines where Iowa would play either UNI or Drake, and Iowa State would play either Drake or UNI,
As a tournament.
and then the winners would play each other.
Wasn't that the way it was when it first started out?
Oh, I don't remember ever doing that.
You know,
Well, that would make a little sense to have a Iowa tournament. That'd be
I
kind
thought they did.
Well, it used to be that Drake and UNI came here, and that was it. We didn't go there.
Yeah.
And so it evolved.
But if you're good enough, you're going to beat everyone.
That's right. That's right. Maybe a more atmosphere in Des Moines, although that Iowa Creighton game that
Didn't work out real well.
That didn't turn out the way we wanted it to.
No, but did you see where Creighton was? Now, they did get beat last week, but
Yeah.
they were 17th or 16th.
They're
Yeah,
good.
they're good basketball
Good dog.
team.
So
Yeah.
they must be a pretty good basketball.
Yeah,
And we
The
were
one that-
stone cold when we played them.
All right.
they made us look bad, and they
The
made
one
themselves
that,
look good.
The one that beat me or made us look bad is Campbell's.
And that's a good team. They've
Is
only
it?
lost to Creighton. This
Is that
year.
all?
That's it. They played Creighton like a week after they played Iowa, or not even a week.
Who's this?
Campbell,
Campbell, the team that beat
oh,
us
yeah.
here.
the Fighting Camels.
Yeah, right.
so-
But they couldn't miss anything that
No.
night.
Yeah.
And
That's
UNI's got a good team.
Yes.
They're going to be strong as long as the refs allow them to flop on defense all night long. They're going to be real strong. I still have a little bitter taste in my way they were allowed to play that game. But,
Well, anytime you get teams that shoot anywhere from 56 to 62% against you,
yeah,
generally you're going to get beat
yeah.
because it's who's hot and who's not. And
Speaking of that,
we haven't had a good shooting game yet, have
No.
Well,
Well, the first two games of the year they scored about 95
we?
points.
Yeah, I guess so, but
Each.
we didn't
Yeah,
play
but who
anybody.
were they?
So,
Morningside and
anyway,
Chicago.
right. But the one thing I want to bring up that I've had a lot of people ask me about, Xavier in Cleveland
Who?
Cincinnati.
No, Cincinnati.
or Cincinnati. Now I think both of them should be done for the season. That
Pretty,
does at basketball that does not do any good at all. That was terrible.
Nope. And the
Well-
suspensions they got weren't very significant.
No.
They're both from the same town.
Right.
Yeah.
next time they meet, they should just get a boxing ring and just turn them loose in there. They're better at that than.
Well, they weren't even very
But
good
they
at
have
boxing.
to. They
were
have to do
kicking
something
and-
about it. You start that, then it's going to just spread.
And if you watch that game, you know that there was a lot more that happened
Right.
before punches started getting
That's
thrown.
right.
There were players on opposing teams taunting the
And
bench,
right there,
taunting
the first
coach.
player that taunted would be thrown out
Yeah,
of the game.
that's the
It's only way
referee's
they're going to
fault.
stop it.
That's
right.
correct.
That's
the
right.
They
referee's
let it get
fault
out of
as
hand,
much as the
Yeah.
coaches.
I've seen it in some high school games
Ooh,
this year.
then that needs to end.
Well, that's what I mean. You start doing it, and
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah, officials need to take charge of the
no,
game.
it's not the taunting like you see in the college, but it's
Oh,
one
it's,
guy's getting the other guy's face, and it's no
Yeah.
good.
there's just no place for that.
No.
I hate that about sports. It always comes back to haunt you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
never does any good. Does it really make the person feel better to taunt someone?
Right.
I guess, but that's short-sighted, and boy, did that thing blow up.
I would
Gee
say the
whiz.
closest thing to it would be
Yeah, right. That's right. No,
You're right.
and this
Oh,
might have
boy.
been even a little rougher in the wrestling because you seen the blood flowing.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, sucker punches and kicking guys when they're down on the ground, and I mean that's street fighting. That's the thug life.
Oh.
Well, see, a lot of out east, a lot of those teams, that's
Well,
what they play is street.
yeah. That's right. So
Well, this is Cincinnati. This is sort of a southern,
Yeah.
south southern.
yeah, it is southern down there. I'll tell you what. I've got it's
That's
it's a
right.
different world.
Well, Cincinnati's airport is in Kentucky. That's
Yeah.
how far south it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, and how much sense does that make? But it's true. I mean,
See,
it's
that
right
year-
on the border of
That
Kentucky.
year we played, was it Bowling Green? What's those sets over there?
Yeah.
That's where we flew into, was Cincinnati.
Yeah. They got
Yeah.
big troubles, and I don't think the suspensions were nearly strong enough.
No,
think
I
the
don't
worst they got
either.
was four games. Everybody else got 2 games or 1 game.
One guy got 6 games.
Oh, he did.
One guy.
And
The
as
guy
much
threw the
as-
punch?
As
I don't know
much
which
as I
team he
like
was
to
on,
watch
yeah.
sports, I had to turn away from that. I mean, it
Yeah.
just
And
made me sick.
these
Yeah.
are big guys.
Yes, right.
Big bad guys. Iowa women's basketball.
Yep.
They took some vengeance out on Western Illinois University last weekend. You know, they got beat at Iowa State and didn't look good doing it. And they took it out on the big time last weekend. Now, like the men, they've had the week off, and they won't play until Saturday night at Bradley in Peoria. That's a 7 p.m. game. No radio. No, well, I don't think there's going to be any radio. There might be. I don't know how KXIC and WMT jockey that. But one of them may have the men's game, which occurs at the same time. And then the other may have the women's game.
Seems like the women get shortchanged from men's basketball.
Yeah.
Is Bradley any good?
Don't know.
I don't either.
Don't know anything about Bradley.
There's not too many teams that come on to Bradley that aren't good.
Yeah.
Girls
Tuesday
are-
night, they will be hosting Drake
Okay.
at 7 p.m. That game will be on Connections 22. Tuesday night. Or,
Who is that?
yeah,
Women or the men?
Women.
that's women.
Tuesday the 20th.
There are also 2,000 free tickets for that women's game
Good.
at the Hy-Vee food stores. So check it out.
Why did they cut it off at 2,000?
Well, I think Hy-Vee bought them.
Yeah.
Oh, I
you're
see.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. Hy-Vee bought them and then distributed them amongst their area stores. They might even have them down in Washington.
See, now that's another thing I have against our scheduling and stuff. And I'm sure they can't help it. But Tuesday night's a big high school
Yep.
basketball.
Tuesday and Friday. Yeah.
And you got these parents, grandparents, go see their kids.
That's right.
So
And that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just a quick note about the Iowa wrestlers. They manhandled Northern Iowa last weekend, and they've got 3 weeks off until the Midlands tournament.
Yeah.
Earl wants to get to the bowl projections.
That'll be 3 weeks ahead of the wrestlers.
Yeah, the wrestlers, they got a lot to take care of before the end of the season, or
Yeah.
before the end of the calendar year. How about West High? None in boys and girls basketball.
But not only that, there's not a team's going to touch either one of them.
Isn't that
Is
something?
that right?
They went
Especially
to
those girls, I think.
they went to number
Well,
one
the boys
Linn-Mar.
too.
Yeah.
When they beat Linn-Mar as bad
At
as they
Linn-Mar.
did, Linn-Mar was number one.
They just played their first home game, the West High boys, last night against Waterloo East, and
That's the worst
just steamrolled them, 80-something to 30-something.
Wow.
But
It was
they're
ugly.
tough. You're not going to come.
Nope.
Wouldn't that be something? 2 state champions potentially coming out of
We
there,
had
huh?
it. At
We had it.
High
City High had it
just
one
4,
year.
what,
Yeah.
4 years
That's true.
ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago.
When Matt Gatins was a
Gatins
senior and
and
Kelly
Kelly
Cry
Cry.
was a senior.
Yeah. And you've got 2 great basketball teams at West
Yeah.
High this year, and nobody's going to touch the girls.
No, I don't think anyone's going to touch either one of them.
Well, the boys always seem to find a way.
I
to
don't think they will
slip
this
up.
year.
They may
He's got,
not, yeah.
You know, to me, they have one of the coaches in basketball there is.
Steve Bergman.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When Ted was playing, he was over at West Liberty,
Uh-huh.
and they gave Regina all they
I'll
could,
bet.
all the time in every con. He was a good coach over it, and that's probably why he got the West Side job
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, heck, he's been at West for
Oh yeah.
darn near 20 years, hasn't he?
Oh, it's been a while.
Well, I don't know 20, but
Have to be I wonder how many years.
Yeah,
later.
it's been a while.
yeah, because I think he left West Liberty. They got out of school.
How old's Ted?
I didn't want you.
Well, he's 40, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is.
Well, then he graduated in 18, so
Okay.
that put Bergman somewhere in that.
No, he had a hard time. It was 22 before he
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say anything about the Albert Pujols deal.
Okay.
And Earl says, okay. But we've got some bowl games to talk about. I don't know if we want to talk about all of them,
Sure.
but let's talk about the ones that are
Okay.
between now and next Wednesday,
That sounds good.
All right.
when we can do all the rest.
So we'll pick
Wait,
Iowa
wait,
next
wait, wait.
Wednesday.
Are we got a show next Wednesday?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Wednesday after Christmas, I'm not going to be here.
Well, I don't think
they're open.
they're open.
Oh, okay. Well then, we'll have
They'll
to
probably
do
be open.
So
next
the next
our
Wednesday,
year
the
ender
21st is our
I
last.
thought that was it.
next week. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They'll be open next
All right,
week.
all right.
We'll be back next week, but we're not done today. The first game of the bowl season starts Saturday, and that is the New Mexico Bowl at Albuquerque. And that will feature 8-4 Wyoming versus 8-4 Temple. The game is at 1:30 on ESPN. You know, I'm guessing that means 12:30. These,
Yeah,
Well,
I'm thinking these are
that's all
Eastern
Eastern
times.
time.
Let's-
So are we all picking here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Or we just guessing?
You know, that might be Central Time. 1:30. We are guessing.
Okay. I'm going with Temple.
Bud,
Wyoming.
Temple.
you got 2 Temples and a Wyoming. I think I'll round it out and go Wyoming.
2-2, okay.
Next, we have the highly competitive, highly sought after, famous Idaho Potato Bowl in Boise, Idaho.
Well, that's the one we wanted to go to.
That game will be Saturday at 4:30, also on ESPN. And that features Utah State at 7-5, Ohio at 9-4. Not Ohio State, Ohio.
Ohio University for me.
Yes.
I think I have to go with Utah State
Well,
since it's
that-
at the Potato Bowl.
It is.
Ohio State.
And I'm going with Ohio as well.
3 Ohio's and Bud's Utah State. Okay.
Now, Bud, what do you think about the New Orleans Bowl? That's Saturday night at 7, and that features Louisiana Lafayette at 8-4 versus San Diego State. Excuse me. Also at 8-4.
San Diego State.
San Diego State.
San Diego State.
I'm going Louisiana State because they're playing in New Orleans, and I don't know anything else
Now,
about
is
it.
that the
Okay.
team we played?
No,
No.
this is Louisiana Lafayette.
Okay, we played Louisiana.
We played Louisiana Monroe.
Monroe,
Yeah.
that was it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. All right then. Tuesday. The first game starts at 6 p.m. There are 2 games on Tuesday. Now wait a minute. Let's see here.
You want my
December 20
glasses?
Yeah. 1 game on Tuesday, and that is the Beef O'Brady Bowl.
The beef
The
over.
what?
I have
Beef
never-
O'Brady Bowl.
Come on.
Serious. Beef O'Brady Bowl at St. Petersburg, Florida. I don't know if it used to be, maybe this was the old Citrus Bowl. I
I
don't
I'll
suppose.
take St. Petersburg.
know. Well, they're not playing. But
Oh.
Marshall at 6-6 is playing Florida International University at 8-4. Only game Tuesday night. Beef O'Brady Bowl.
I'll take the Florida International.
Yeah.
I'll take
They
the
come
Florida.
on.
I'm taking Florida.
Me too. Me
All
too.
right, we're all in agreement.
All right.
Then on Wednesday, there is one game,
All right.
and now we're getting to game. At least remember the name of the bowl, the Poinsettia Bowl, at San Diego. This features Texas Christian at 10-2 versus Louisiana Tech at 8-4. Texas Christian versus Louisiana Tech.
TCU for me.
Bud,
Yeah, I'll have to go with them.
TCU.
same here. 10-2
Okay.
versus 8-4.
So that gets us through Wednesday, our next show.
Well, there's one game on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I think we ought to at least discuss it. Now, this is a big-time bowl. It's the Mako Bowl, M-A-A-C-O, Mako.
Where's that at?
The Mako Bowl is in Las Vegas and features Boise State at 11-1
You're
versus
kidding.
Arizona State and a new coach at 6-6.
Oh, I'll have to take
11-1 Boise State
Boise
versus
State,
Arizona
I'll take
State.
up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
Boise
take Boise
State.
State.
Boise
All the
State
way,
all the
yeah.
way.
They think they belong in the layout national.
BCS, they probably did belong.
BCS.
Who did Arizona State hire as their new coach? We know him. It's he'd been out of coaching for a while. A known name. If you know who it is, give Bud Supple a call after
That's who we
midnight.
call.
I was thinking Bob Davies, but he got
Oh,
hired
that-
by. Didn't he get hired by? no?
Mexico. Yeah, but it's somebody else.
Jim Mora got hired by UCLA.
Yeah.
Junior.
Yeah.
Arizona State.
So,
Don't know.
do you mind if we talk about Albert Pujols for a
No,
minute?
not at all.
No, let's go
No.
ahead.
Joe, how we doing on time, my friend? We got 6 minutes.
Oh, good.
Well, Albert Pujols is gone from St. Louis and has flown to Anaheim to join the Angels for 10 years and $254.
He's too old.
He's 31, will be 32 next month,
And he's going to the American League and he can pitch hit.
and
Right.
designate hit.
Right.
Yeah, DH.
That's way too much
He
money.
played 11 seasons for St. Louis and won 2 World Championships.
Went to
World
3
Series.
World Series.
But he's a fixture at St. Louis.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes me sick.
Yeah.
Well, it's too bad.
You'd think he'd have some loyalty with all that money. And it's not like they didn't offer him a good. They just wiped, what, $4 million? Didn't
No,
say
there was
no.
a big difference.
It was Cardinals supposedly offered 10 years at $210 million.
Yeah, okay.
So a difference of $40 million
Yeah.
or about $4 million.
When you
a year.
get in those figures, I'd rather have my loyalty. He could walk, have statues and everything down there at St. Louis. I mean,
Yep.
he was a team.
He was an icon. He
That's
was
right.
the modern generation
right.
Stan Musial.
But here's a reference. Miami offered him $275 and he turned that down. Now,
I'm not real sure Miami actually offered that.
well, here's something that's interesting that does come into the scenario, but didn't seem to make a difference to him. Florida has no state income tax.
Right,
So that'll put more money in his pocket.
right.
California has it, what is it, 9%, 10%? It's terrible.
It's huge.
And what St. Louis have, 6%?
Well, there was
You
a.
talk
So you
that
have
kind
to
of
factor
money. What
that
the
in.
hell is-
I read
10, which was low for.
there was an article written by a professor of economics at Missouri University who said, quite frankly, Albert took less money to go to Anaheim because of the vast difference in cost of living out there versus in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But it's more than that. Coming from a Cardinal fan, here's my perspective. I was fine with Albert leaving and going for more money and going to the American League where he can extend his career once some of his skills begin to erode. But for 2 years, he told us it's not about the money.
It was all money.
That's right.
And that's what it came down to. As Bud said, Albert Pujols was godlike in St. Louis. He could do no wrong. He wasn't the
And he
friendliest
deserved
person.
it.
And
wasn't-
he earned every bit of
deserved
it. Yep,
I'm just going to be glad to turn on the Cub Cardinal game, not to have him come in the back.
you bet.
'Cause
Cubs
he really
fans,
took the
fans.
Cubs.
Yes, he did.
Well, let me
Yeah.
ask you this. What did they pay him for the 11 years he was there?
He made $16 million a year the last 6 or 7 years, make no mistake about it, he was underpaid.
He was underpaid, and
That's
I
right.
think that ate him. He was like 25th or 30th, and probably the best ball player in the damn majors. You know, I think that ate at him, and
It did.
I think it ate at him because initially, didn't they come at him with 5 years?
Well, but more money.
Yeah.
Essentially the same kind of money, $210 million, over 5 years. They were going to pay him a lot of money, but he wanted a 10-year deal. He wanted Alex
I thought it was
Rodriguez.
130 over
That's
5
right, he wanted that.
His
No,
pride.
I know it was 200 something.
He wanted 10 years for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He wanted to be secure. He wanted to get paid for past deeds.
Exactly.
And that's not how it works in this world.
No.
The Cardinals took a big risk when they gave him that $16 million per year contract when he was still relatively young.
Wasn't that also in that contract, he got a day off every so often?
Now that you mention it, yeah. Yeah, that was in there. He is claiming now that the Angels owner wanted him more and was more offered more family atmosphere and also is paying him 10 years after he's done playing as what they call a service contract for the team, which means essentially
Over and above the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
When Albert Pujols goes into the Hall of Fame, he goes in as an Angel. And when Albert Pujols is done playing, he won't be making appearances in St. Louis when all the other Hall of Famers gather for opening day and World Series time and all the
The
playoffs.
number one thing
Well, that's too
behind
bad.
all that, your West Coast doesn't make the newspapers the
That's
next
right.
day.
That's right.
And he's not going to be the headline story in every paper in the Midwest like he has been the last 10 years
That's
or
right.
so.
And they're not going to embrace him
No, that's right.
like Cardinal Nation
That's
did.
right.
There's
And
no
they're not
place
going
like
to sell out the stadiums, and they're not going to.
Well,
Well, that might be the best.
L.A. or Anaheim has, over the last 10 years, equaled Cardinals ticket sales.
Have they? Okay, I
have.
didn't
And that
know
was a
that.
surprise to me.
Yeah.
But they put some
The
teams on the
Dodger
field.
Stadium and the Giants Stadium.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
in L.A., I'll tell you what, whether Pujols is there or not, they better win, because if they're not, they'll be right down the road.
oh, I know it.
There's a lot of competition for the sports dollar.
That's right.
And one of these days, by the way, they're going to have another NFL football team out there.
Yeah.
Or they're going to move one of those franchises out there.
Probably going to move Jacksonville.
Yeah, so that'll be another competitive ticket.
But
That's right.
You know, baseball's played during the summer, and those ocean places,
They're hot.
kids go to the beaches and
Yeah.
and surf and this kind of stuff. So it's not like Chicago or St. Louis or Milwaukee where those kids all want to go to the ball game.
Well, is there really a better baseball town than St. Louis?
No, there isn't. It's just sad. It's sad the way it ended up. I don't think any
Yeah.
true Cardinal fan begrudges him. It's a great opportunity for him, a good setting. Who wouldn't want to live in sunny Southern California? But having said that, guys, we've got one show left this year, one show left with Bud before he heads south to sunny Florida. Till then, we want you to join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 6 p.m. on Channel 18. On behalf of Bob Boyd and Bud Supple and Earl Murphy, I'm Dirk Keller, thanking you for watching. We appreciate your feedback, and we want you to know, either you're a Hawk or you're not. Go Hawks! See you next week.
Amen.